In today's video, I'm going to be reviewing 3 new mineral-based face sunscreens that I've been putting to the test. I love mineral-based sunscreens more so than chemical because I feel like mineral are more gentle, and since I am a tretinoin user, I feel like chemical-based sunscreens irritate my skin. So I'm always on the hunt for a new mineral base to test out, and when I'm testing out new skincare and especially sunscreen, it needs to work with my makeup products. So I have used these 3 sunscreens with liquid, cream, and powder-based makeup, but also I have tested these 3 sunscreens out with a lot of different types of skincare products in terms of textures and consistencies so that I can give you an in-depth review of these 3. So a few months ago, I did share my favorite face sunscreens for 2023. So if you haven't seen that video yet, I'm going to leave that video below for you for your reference. But these 3 products that I'm chatting about today will also be linked below for you as well. So let's get right into that first sunscreen. So the way that I'm going to structure this video is I'm going to start with the least favorite and work my way up to that 3rd sunscreen that I absolutely love. So the first brand is by Alchemist, and this is an SPF 30 with a zinc oxide of 19.5%. Now, I really wanted to try this brand of a sunscreen because I have tried a few products from Alchemist before. Their hand cream is lovely. Also, they have a face cleanser that works really nice. It smells incredible. And there was a serum that I tried from them as well. I can't remember what it was called, but I also remember enjoying that one as well. Now, I will say, they say this is great for all skin types, but I feel like this is best for those that have dry, dehydrated skin. If you have oily skin or even combination skin like myself, you may feel like this is a little too moisturizing, a little bit too heavy, and a little bit too greasy on the skin. Now, I am somebody that loves that dewy, glowy complexion. I love that finish, but this was almost like a sweaty glow. My skin looked super wet and it didn't absorb into my skin. That shine did not settle down once it had dried down. This never dried down, even on its own. So I wore this with a lot of different types of powder-based makeup products because I wanted to cut down on a lot of that shine. And even by doing that, I felt like my makeup didn't exactly sit nicely on top of it. I did feel like my makeup did separate a little bit throughout the day as well. Now, in fairness, I'm in Ontario. It's extremely hot and humid right now, so this might be better for fall and winter, coming into those colder, drier months. For summer, I just feel like it's just a little too moisturizing for those hot, humid temperatures, and if you have oily skin, I'm telling you, you probably won't like this. Now, this has rosehip seed oil, which was another reason why I wanted to try this, because I really can't recall if I've ever used a sunscreen with rosehip seed oil, and I love that ingredient, by the way, but I think that's why I'm finding this to be too moisturizing and why my skin looks super oily when I use it. Now, this also has vitamin C as well, so if you like those 2 ingredients, then of course this would be worth trying. And I will say, this did not leave a white cast on my fair skin. I know with mineral-based sunscreens, these tend to leave a slight cast on a lot of skin tones. If you have a darker skin tone, of course, there's always that possibility. But for me personally, this one actually blended in quite nice. Now, this never pilled with any of my other skincare products or with my makeup, so that was great. But if it's not going to make my makeup stay in place all day, and I did use a makeup setting spray, by the way, that still did not work, then it's not really for me. It's not meant for my skincare routine. This is not water resistant, so if you're going to be near water, you're going to be sweating, this would not be it. This is only going to create more of that shine and greasiness to the skin, but also this is just going to melt right off your skin. So if you're going to be near water, make sure that you go with a water resistant sunscreen, and I do have one in this video that I'm going to be sharing. So this one would be best just for everyday errands, or just you're working from home, you're going to the office, you're going to be working near a window. This would be great for that. But for sports and whatnot, this definitely is not it. The next sunscreen sunscreen is by Cocokind, and this is the SPF 32, and this has a zinc oxide of 21%. Now, Cocokind is one of my favorite drugstore brands. I really love this brand so much. I feel like it's very high-end, and when I'm using their products, it feels very luxurious to me. It feels like I am using expensive skincare. This one in particular, this sunscreen, is very lovely. It's also quite moisturizing, not as heavy and not as greasy as the Grown Alchemist. So I feel like this one would be great for all skin types. But again, if you have dry, dehydrated skin, this will be another great option. Your skin will have a glow to it, but not that greasy glow like Grown Alchemist. So when I'm using this, I much prefer to use this when I am wearing makeup, because if I need to powder down on certain areas, I can do that and have this be more wearable throughout the day. On its own, it's still a little bit too shiny for my liking. So if I do choose to use this on its own, I actually skip a moisturizer and use this as that moisturizer with the sunscreen, because in the summer, I feel like I don't need a moisturizer beforehand, because this is quite nice on its own, and I feel like this is going to be another great option for the fall winter months as well. There is a few different oils in this one as well. There's also glycerin and aloe. So I like the formula. I feel like having a sunscreen that keeps your skin comfortable for the entire day is really important. I don't like sunscreens that feel drying on the skin, or like halfway through the day my skin feels tight. I am not for that. I much prefer to use something like this that is a little heavier and greasier than having a sunscreen that dries out my skin. But like I said, I feel like I do need to powder up with this. Now, I do have a powder SPF that I like to use to reapply my sunscreen throughout the day from Colorescience. I will link that product below for you. So I feel like if I'm using a sunscreen like this that is quite moisturizing, then I will just use that powder SPF throughout the day just to cut down on shine, but also to add that extra protection that we need when the day goes on. Now, I will say, when I use this with my other skincare products, I've never had an issue with pilling. And also, I get a slight cast with this. But if I were to compare this to the Grown Alchemist, this one has a little bit more of that cast compared to the Grown Alchemist. So I just wanted to make sure that I mentioned that, just in case you are somebody with that darker skin tone. But again, if you're looking for something that is affordable, something that you can get at the drugstore, this really is a lovely option. And the third sunscreen is by far my favorite, and to be honest with you, before I even tried it, I had a feeling that I was going to absolutely love it, and I was right. This is by Colorescience, and this is the Total Protection No Show Mineral Sunscreen with an SPF 50. It has a PA++++. It has a zinc oxide of 10%, and it's also water and sweat resistant up to 40 minutes. So again, if you plan on being active, you're going to be sweating, this is the formula that you would want to use for that longevity. The previous two sunscreens are not water resistant. This one also does not have a white cast. This one is very thin and lightweight, and I really don't see a cast on my skin whatsoever. This one also leaves your skin quite skin-like, but you might have a little bit of a glow. It's wearable, and honestly, I do feel like this is suited for all skin types, including dry skin, including super oily skin as well. This has worked great underneath my makeup, and I did test this out, like I said, with cream, liquid, and powder-based products. This almost acts as that makeup primer, and I feel like a lot of the Colorescience formulations act as makeup primers. I did mention in that sunscreen video that I've linked below for you that the Colorescience Flex line that has a lot of tinted options, that formulation also acts as a makeup primer, and my makeup just sits so nicely on top of it. I get that longevity, and also my skin almost looks airbrushed. It looks flawless. I get that same effect with this one. So even if you're someone that wears makeup once in a while, and let's say you have somewhere special to go and you don't have a makeup primer, use this, or use a sunscreen that works really well under makeup. Who cares if you're going out for date night and it's going to be dark? Wear your sunscreen, because I'm telling you, this really keeps your makeup in place, and I get that beautiful look to my skin. But this also works great with all of the skincare products that I paired up with it, like vitamin C, copper peptides, different types of moisturizers. I like using a moisturizer before this because this isn't as heavy and as rich as the previous two. And I like using moisturizers every day, twice a day. So I'm happy that I can use one beforehand and it's not going to be too heavy and greasy on my skin. I'm not sure what this will be like during the fall and winter, just as it is, but I feel like this will be great come those colder temperatures, especially if you pair it up with a moisturizer. This one almost has like a silky, velvety feel to it, so your skin feels really nice and it's not oily and greasy like I said, and it feels like you don't even have a sunscreen on your skin. That's another reason why I like this so much. I don't like things that are too heavy, especially if I am wearing makeup, so this is extremely lightweight and it never disappoints. Now this one is non-tinted, so I do like that as well because I don't always want to use a tinted sunscreen. I don't always like that added color. So if you're looking for something that is non-tinted but also water resistant, then I feel like this will be a great option to look into. And I truly feel like Colorescience has one of the best sunscreen formulations on the market. There, of course, are many sunscreens that I like from other brands, but Colorescience always does it right. I love their body sunscreen. I also like their powder SPF as well, and their tinted options are quite lovely. So I will leave all of my favorites below for you if you're interested in looking into those as well. But in the meantime, this is one of the best that I have used so far. And if you try this, please come back and let me know how you like it, because I hope that you love it as much as I do. So those are the 3 sunscreens that I've been putting to the test. I really hope that you enjoyed this video and that you found it helpful. And most importantly, I hope I was able to introduce you to a new sunscreen today. Of course, these will be linked below for you, as well as my sunscreen video. So if you want some other options, hopefully I can introduce you to something new over in that video. But if you have any questions, please feel free to ask away and I will get back with you as soon as I can. Thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. And of course, I will see you all in the next video. Take care, and I will see you all then. Bye, guys.